Pause that.
All right. Welcome. Bienvenidos and in sign language, welcome. My name is Melissa Silver. I'm with DeltaV Code School. I am very proud to present our Code 201 students. They have worked very hard and I've got to see them, on the periphery, but I've been really pleased with the hard work that you guys have done, as well as your collaborative spirit. So I'm really excited to see what your presentation is like. I know it's been a lot of work. Blood, sweat, and tears. All of this today. All right, so welcome to the DeltaV presentation. Here's our logo. All right. We've got some sponsors to thank. This is only possible with our beloved sponsors. We had Fire Proof Insurance, Transamerica, CCR, Aria, am I pronouncing that correctly? Aria, Leapfrog, Higher Learning Technologies, ACT, Midwest Microwave Solutions Inc., and Pro Circular. Thank you so much for your support, and we really hope you enjoy this presentation. We have some upcoming events that we'd like to share with you. We've got some Code 101s that are happening. Our next one is on August 6th, and that's in the Quad Cities or remotely, so don't hesitate to join. Our instructor is Craig Barkley, and it gives you a chance to build your own website, just a little bit of an opportunity to try some coding and some website development and see if that is a career pathway for you. We also have Coffee and Code. That is August 13th at Stillwater Cafe. I believe Stillwater is in Marion or Hiawatha. Hiawatha. It's an opportunity for coders new and old or mature. And that's for a couple hours on Saturday morning, 9 to 11, I believe. Don't hesitate to join us this Thursday at 2 o'clock, no, 11 o'clock, 10 a.m. 10 a.m. For our IT summer student internship presentation. They have also been working very diligently, and you can join us in person at the Geometric building, or you can also join us remotely. This is also our logo. Thank you.
Sorry.
Tell us more about the instructor.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so this is the final project presentation for this session of Code 201. Over the course of this presentation, we're going to introduce ourselves to you, give you an overview of what our project was, the process that we went through in creating our project. We'll give a demonstration of what we created, and then there will be a little bit of time for questions at the end. So to start with, my name is Daniel Fry. I'm a student here at DeltaV. Have a pretty diverse background. I have a degree in engineering from Iowa State. I spent a lot of time working in retail sales and dabbled in warehouses and church ministry as well. I have a great love of learning a little bit about pretty much anything you can imagine. This weekend, I spent some time learning about Harvey Eagles and some time learning about tightrope walking and all sorts of other things that I couldn't even tell you what all I read about. So just have a great curiosity that I love feeding. But I think next we'll introduce Allie.
Hi, my name is Ali Bunko, like Daniel mentioned. I am a recent graduate from RC University. I got my Bachelor's of Science with my major was in psychology and my minors were in child studies and criminal justice. During my time on Mount Mercy, I was one of the first researchers there, and we presented at a conference. Me and my professor, we worked on a research project, and we presented at the conference. And then my senior year, we were actually able to publish that in the Journal of Psychology and Behavioral Sciences. And I was also awarded the Outstanding Psychology Student Award my senior year as well. And now I'm at DeltaV, trying to pursue a career in software development. Now I'll pass it on to Mary.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mary. My background is in healthcare. I graduated from Kirkwood Community College in 2020. I've spent the last 2 years working as a medical assistant during the pandemic, so that has been quite a journey. And so I am here at DeltaV learning coding in hopes of pursuing software development as a career. All right, next up is Jordan.
I'm Jordan Lindo. I have an associate's degree in software development from Kirkwood. I have certificates in Java and .NET development. I have experience as a supervisor through a inventory service, and I recently began baking bread to relax. And I'll pass it off to Teresa.
Hi, I'm Teresa Phillips, and I'm retired from Procter & Gamble, 22 years of service. My last position, I was an analyst 1, technical and administrative for NorCal regional sales team, customer sales team. I have experience as a line lead and training, creating highly efficient teams. Pass it back to Daniel.
So as we were trying to come up with what our final project for this course would be, we discovered that all of us have a great fondness for books. And I'm sure many of you know a great fondness for books leads to lots and lots of books in your house that just kind of sit around not being read, whether that's because you already read them and aren't going to go back to them, which is a good outcome, or because it's in a pile of books that if you admit to yourself you're never going to read it, that is an unfortunate outcome. But either way, you have lots of books, you want to get more, you don't have any place to put them. That was kind of the problem idea we were working with. So the solution that we came up with was a website to help facilitate trading books between people. So being able to donate a book to the organization and getting a new book back for yourself, that allows you to still have that joy of getting a new book, but also being able to get books out of your storage, and it saves environmentally too by not having piles of books that just get tossed in the landfill. Instead, you get a chance to reuse books over and over. So that was the basic goal of our project. We started out by trying to come up with a model for what all the pieces of the project would look like. So as you can see here, the user and book entities there are kind of the core of the whole project, defining each user having a user account that records data about them, and a bunch of books that they can browse through. And then the other stuff around that is auxiliary information, essentially dealing with the locations where they would be dropping off and picking up books, the exchange information, and the bookshelf at the bottom there, which is our version of the cart that you might find on a normal shopping website. And partially through development, we realized that the bookshelf would actually be better or more efficiently done as a property of the user object. So we ended up kind of merging those two entities to be a single thing. So from the model there, we moved on to some wireframing to give ourselves an idea of what the layout of our finished website might look like. So you can see some of the mock-ups that we did here before we actually started building anything. We came up with 6 pages. That would be our goal for this week-long project. So we can open up the website we created and take a look at what all it does. So to talk about the landing page here, bring Teresa back up.
As I said, this is our landing page, and in our header, we have the logo, the company title, we have our navigation links, we have the bookshelf representing our cart, and then we also have this book in version 2, which show you how many books you donated in order to receive a credit. We also have the animation, it's kind of hard to see, but it goes around the header in a border. We have our little welcome to the company, our hero image, a little bit about the company, our mission statement, some ways to direct our users to where we'd like them to go by providing the big buttons. And below the phone, then we have our location and our volunteer opportunities.
So normally when a person would arrive at the website, they would be directed to the big buttons to either browse the library or share a book. But anytime you would try to actually do anything that would interact with your user account, it would send you to this user login page. Obviously at the top where it says sign in there, you can also get to it that way. But this is how we track the user that's actually interacting with the site at the time. So you put in your name and your email, and if you hit login, then it'll say welcome there, and at the top, it gives your name and another button for logging out there. And with this user account, we're tracking obviously who they are, and the email is being used as a unique identifier. And then it tracks the books that are on your bookshelf or in your cart, as well as the number of books that you've donated to the website. And so, unfortunately, we don't have database tools to use yet. We haven't gotten that far in our learning, but we were able to use some local storage tools to give some interaction there to make it, or to give the experience of working with stored data. So anytime a new user logs in, that user would be added to the list of total users. Anytime a returning user logs in, it will look at the email that you enter and compare it to the list of users that are already there. If it finds that email, then it will bring back all the data on that user from their previous session. So once they've logged in, they can then start browsing the library. So to talk about that, we'll get Jordan up.
This is the page to browse our library. It also fills the local data, your local storage data. Here you can search by author and title, any components thereof. So let's try Java, and you get the Java and JavaScript books. And then if you wanted to search by a specific attribute, you'd have to use the exact words. So initially, I had thought of fiction, and then realized if I type that in with that as a component version, it would also pick up nonfiction. So I've changed that up a bit. And from here, you can add a book to your cart. And it removes it from the overall list. And I'll give it to Allie to take over talking about this one.
So as Jordan mentioned, this is our checkout page. Every time a user adds a book, it's going to be displayed here. For now, we have the checkboxes. So when people want to reserve a book, they're going to use the checkboxes. In version 2, we would want to have a remove function so they can remove books from their cart. But for now, we have the check marks as a placeholder. When they go to actually reserve the book and they press reserve when they don't have enough tokens, it is, sorry. When they do have enough tokens, they're going to get a display thank you message, and it's going to give you information about when and where you can go pick up your book. If you don't have enough tokens, however, you're going to get an alert pop up and it's going to tell you that you do not have enough tokens. To talk about tokens, I'm going to hand it off to Mary.
Right. And then here we just have the share book page. Basically, it prompts the user to add a book title and also the book's author. So and then over on the side, it also has and then on the side, it has a picture of the token, which is right beside where the shelf is. In version 2, normally that icon would have shown how many tokens that the user currently has, but due to the time constraint, we did not have time to add that as a function. And then as Allie was going back to the library, the book that she has added onto there will show at the very end of the library. Allie. Back to Daniel.
All right, so you can close out of the website there and take us back to our slideshow. So that was a demo of where the project is at right now. As we mentioned throughout the presentations, there's quite a few things that we would like to have done but didn't have time to do, but would be projects for future revisions. So like was mentioned, the token display at the top right of the screen so that you, from every page on the site, can see how many books you've donated and thus how many you can check back out. We want to add the ability to modify your cart from the checkout screen. When you check out, we want to be able to actually remove the books from our inventory because they've been reserved. In a future version, we would like to add an API to be able to look up more information about the books. So we want to minimize the amount of information that the user has to enter in, but be able to connect to another service to get title, author, genre, cover page, all that stuff, get as much information as possible about the book that we can then inject into our own site. It would be great to add some marketing data, so you'd be able to come to the site and be able to see what books have been moving through the most, and ways for site administrators to be able to add information to books as well. So plenty of opportunities for more to be done with the project. But on our resource slide here, if you have the slides, you can check more of this out. That first link there is the link to the deployed website. The second is the link to the repository that contains all the code for the website. Third there is some of the resources that we use throughout the project and for this presentation. And of course, we want to say thank you to all the DeltaV staff that has helped us through this course in our journey in software development. So with that, are there any questions for any of the team? This project we spent a week working on. We started last Tuesday, I guess. We had a little bit of discussion about what we were going to do, but the proper work started last Tuesday.
How would you assign?
Jordan, you want to take this?
Largely, we just had a project board and picked what we wanted to work on. Tried to split it up fairly evenly.
The tools that we had available to us. Yeah. And he was asking when you log in, there was no password to verify that you're actually the user. And the reason for that is just the tools that we had available.
it's unwise to store passwords in local storage.
So this is for everyone. What was your frustration?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think most of us can give that same answer. We had many frustrations with GitHub or the Git protocol throughout the whole process. Just because we don't have a ton of familiarity with it yet. And it was kind of learning trial by fire, so.
What particular problem did you come? Like what part of it is difficult to?
Multiple times, and well, initially, we tried to set it up so that you need someone to review your code before you can merge it into main. But we didn't have that set up correctly, and so it was causing problems for everything that we were trying to do. And then multiple times throughout, we had some mistakes with getting changes from main pulled down to the branch that we were working on that caused problems later on in the process. So a lot of it was just unfamiliarity with working with the whole process.
Also for quality assurance, where it was like, we'd edit something, then they'd pull, and we'd have to go back and just edit over and over the same problem. So that was frustrating, just having to have the mistake pop up again and again and again.
So we did figure out short. You don't have to create a whole other pull after you make the edit. As long as they haven't merged it, it will allow you just to go in and add and refresh the page and it's there.
That one wasn't a shortcut, that was the.
That was the due to
It took us a
being
while to get
blocked.
there.
Yeah, that's,
We were locked from editing any branches rather than just
we
main.
were all protected, yeah.
So conversely, looking back at the week, what do you feel was easier than you expected?
I always find the logic stuff enjoyable, so I'd say that was probably easier for me than most parts.
The documentation wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. I thought it was gonna take a lot longer and we could spend all day on it. But at the end, I'm like, oh, look, we're done. So.
Well, I thought just the way we, like, project management wise, like it seemed like such a huge project, big one, But then when we started breaking it into all the little pieces and laying it on the whiteboards and then it just went better than I thought.
For me, I thought like time, like I for some weird reason, I thought that I would have to spend even all of my free time on this project, but I didn't have to do that. And I guess it was mostly due to the planning a bit earlier on. So that was nice.
I had definitely been a bit worried about coordinating what was being worked on with everybody, but that ended up being quite a bit more straightforward than I thought it was going to be. Last questions? What would you do differently? Yeah, to do it all over again.
Set up the correct way.
So there's one question from the audience. So Matthew asked for each of you, what were the up and downs of working on a software development team for you?
I guess some of the ups were having a lot of people to like talk to, solve problems. I wasn't doing it all by myself. We all worked together in a small circle, so we were able to communicate better. So, that was a lot.
I'm kind of almost on the opposite side of that. I have a long family history of just saying, you know what, I'll just do it all myself. And so getting used to being able to say, I'll let you work on that part while I work on this part. That definitely took some getting used to. But once I did get used to it, would say it really eased the whole process. It wasn't nearly as stressful as it would be if I was doing it all myself.
I guess I would kind of say how different it is for specifically like software development, working as a team, because I'm from a healthcare background and you kind of work in a team, but not all your work depends on someone else's work. Like you can go ahead and like do a portion of the work by yourself. So having to make sure that someone like has reviewed my changes and I can't do anything until they're done with that, or I can't do anything until I receive someone's code, that was a bit different for me. It wasn't bad, it was just a little more different than what I was used to.
I find that I work more quickly when I'm on my own, so bouncing things off a team can slow me down a bit. But I also found it helpful to have them there when I needed to talk, so it's good and bad.
Now, let's see. I thought that it was really nice, like, which I think in the real world, maybe it wouldn't be that way, but us sitting around the table, being able to communicate, like, talk out the issue that we had or whatever was real helpful. And in the real world, it probably be a different city or building or whatever, might not work quite the same thing. And I also feel like Mary said, it was difficult and it was a little hard to sometimes when we're like making a lot of changes, each of us, to make sure we're giving them the right word. We had some of that. But yeah, we did it.
What's everyone's next step?
Everyone's next step.
Next class in the third.
Code 301.
I think we're all done with that one. So,
I believe so.
We'll be making another project here in about another month.
Any last questions then? Not, then thank you all for coming, and hopefully in about a month's time, when we're at the end of 301, you'll be able to come for another project presentation. That's